My name is Melissa Swailes. I am many things. I'm a mother of 4 beautiful boys. I'm a teacher. I am a wife. I'm a widow. I don't see myself as one or the other. I'm both. My husband was a police officer with the Los Angeles Police Department for a little under 10 years. He was last assigned to Central Division. And on February 26, 2016, he died by suicide. It was our youngest son's 2nd birthday. I found him in our bedroom. He had shot himself in the head. I screamed. I remember I just kept saying, I can't. I don't want other law enforcement families to learn about this issue the way I had to. I didn't realize what a huge issue this was and how many officers are affected until it touched me, until it affected me, until it affected my family. I didn't realize that more officers die by suicide every year than any other means. And when I saw the numbers and the statistics, I was shocked, and I didn't want to be among those numbers. I didn't want my husband to be a number, a statistic. No amount of training can prepare you for that breaking point. And what's sad is a lot of the officers are not given training in the area of self-care or mental health maintenance. It saddens me that LAPD has so many resources, and one of the last things my husband did was look up those resources. The last thing he did was look up the number for EAU, for RACER, but he didn't call. They were there at his fingertips, but he couldn't ask for help. So many times I hear about officers who self-medicate, who have issues with infidelity, with drug abuse, with alcoholism as a way to cope. And through no fault of anyone's own, there's so many other ways to deal with the stress of this job. And unfortunately, my husband was diagnosed with PTSD by a medical doctor from the Veterans Administration a little over a year before he passed. If his PTSD was service-related or duty-related to his current position, and they suggested he seek help with his department. When I spoke to my husband about this, I said, well, are you going to get help then? Are you going to get help from LAPD? And he said no. He looked at me like I was crazy. And he proceeded to tell me that he didn't know an officer that didn't have PTSD. But that doesn't mean that all officers can handle how it manifests itself. He certainly couldn't, and he thought he could. He didn't want to jeopardize what he believed was a promotion coming down the road for him. He didn't want other officers to look at him as a liability. He didn't want people to know. And he slowly began to unravel. We started, looking back now, I can see signs of aggression, rage, paranoia. It also manifested physically. I remember on Christmas Eve, before he passed, I had to rush him to the emergency room because he was suffering from bleeding ulcers. He had restless leg syndrome to the point where every week I had to buy a new bed sheet because he would rip holes with his feet in the middle of the night. I used to joke that he would arrest me in my sleep. It's not a joke anymore. He was having nightmares, and I would wake up, and he would be screaming, "Stop resisting, stop resisting." And I would wake him up, and he would be in a cold sweat. And it was a joke at the time. He had insomnia, but I always found a way to make an excuse for it. Well, he worked nights, so of course his sleep pattern was going to be not typical. There was always something. Well, he worked overtime a lot, or, we had a brand new baby. We just bought a new house. These are all stressful things. This is all life stress, and we're going to get through it. And this is just a season in our lives that is challenging. I never had any idea that he was struggling so deeply. And we shared everything, or I thought we did. I recently retrieved the weapon that he used when he took his life, and people were horrified. Why would you want that? And my response was, guns don't kill people. Guns don't kill people. Mental illness is what killed him. Because I could have taken all of the weapons and secured them had I known that that was a risk. But honestly, deep down, I know he would have found another way. The gun was a tool. It was really his thought that was deadly. I wish he didn't buy into the stigma that so many officers believe about behavioral science services or other mental health service providers. I wish he looked at it in a way like any other yearly physical, as a way to maintain his mental health stability. I mean, speaking with someone who is unbiased, who really genuinely can give you tools and resources to deal with the stress, to deal with the events, the day-to-day calls. My husband, funny, wore a body camera before the department mandated it for about a year. And every day he would download the film from his body camera and review his day. And he would tell me about it, and I could literally watch the videos, the stops, the arrests, the citations of his day. And to see how he was treated day in and day out, or the things that he saw, or even the smallest minutia of the job, I looked at him and I remember thinking, this is going to slowly erode your soul. It's like this slow torture. Sometimes it's not these big events that require debriefing. It's the everyday, day-to-day components of this job that literally ate away at him. And had he had someone to discuss them with, to process them with, the skills in which to deal with them in a healthier way, I know in my heart of hearts he never would have chosen the solution he thought he was giving everybody. He was sparing our sons pain, but the pain he caused if he knew that this pain and this trauma like I said, spread like a cancer, I know he never would have chose this. I feel like what died with him was the cure to this, was a solution. That's what he took with him, not the pain. I'm okay, but appearances are deceiving, and if anybody can tell you that, it's the officers that worked with him, because no one was more shocked. You don't know what people are hiding. You don't know the pain that they're walking around with behind their smiles, behind their jokes, behind their outgoing personality. He was a good actor. It's hard. People will reach out to me and they'll ask me what they can do for us, how they can help us. There's so many things. At the 1 year mark, the anniversary, I got a lot of questions and calls about what I was going to do. Was I going to have a memorial? Oh, was there going to be some sort of ceremony or service? What were me and the boys going to do? And I remember thinking, it doesn't matter what me and the boys do. It matters what you do. How are you going to remember him? The best way to remember David is to do what he couldn't do and ask for help, to make an appointment with a mental health provider of their choice. It doesn't have to be BSS. It could be through the mental health network. It could be a private therapist. I'm not trying to glorify suicide. I'm not trying to honor it. But I'm also not trying to hide it. I hope that people can learn from it. I hope people can make a different choice. I hope whoever might see this, who's struggling with the same feelings, the same pain, the same thoughts, can do something different, can choose different. It's funny to me how officers will put their life on the line for complete strangers every day, day in and day out, but can't save themselves. Those skills and those tactics that are drilled into them in the academy save their life out in the field But those are the same things that if they don't learn how to manage, can contribute to the stress. And God forbid, result in ending life. Such a delicate balance. We're skating a very fine line.